What's up, people? It has been too long in terms of the amount of time it's been since I've been on the Thomas Take on Spreaker.com, as well as Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, you name it. I've been everywhere, to quote the Johnny Cash song. As far as the Thomas Take, it's been on Facebook, on the My Fantasy Sports Talk Facebook page. It has been on the Thomas Take Facebook page. Been really trying to build the Facebooks of both MFST and T-Take kind of concurrently. So here I am, another night, and it's Friday night. Most of you would ask, what the hell am I doing on a Friday night? Why am I not out? Why am I not? I don't like to go out. I'm not big on going out, drinking. Most people my age, 20 to 25, 26, are big on that. I'm just not. It's just not my thing. Not only that, but I work a 10-hour day tomorrow, and I'm just not really in the mood to just see people in this small town that I don't really care to see, to be honest. I sound like such an ass. Oh, such a jerk. But realistically, I just don't. I just don't care to go out. I'm not big on that. I'd rather be doing this, to be honest. I find this much more entertaining, and in a way, I'm talking to myself. But, you know, when you listen, you'll be like, hey, he's talking to me, which I am. I'm talking to you, the listener. So, just wrapped up my take on the Marcell Dareus situation in Buffalo. Dareus was traded from the Bills to the Jacksonville Jaguars for a 6th-round draft choice, and I kind of analyzed the fan takes that I have read, and if you want to check that out, you can check that out on the Thomas Take Sports Podcast Facebook page. Tried to go live with this video talking about the rivalry that is Cody Garbrandt and TJ Dillashaw. And it kept cutting out. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to use Spreaker.com. It's been a while since I've given the Spreaker audience something to listen to. But they know that they can catch me on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, all at the Thomas Take Sports Podcast. Twitter at Thomas Take Over. So that's kind of been the motto of my show, that this is a takeover. We're not here to take part. We're here to take over. In the words of the Notorious One. So UFC 217 is November 4th, live at Madison Square Garden Arena in New York City, New York. And it's going to be the best card of the year on paper, and it's going to be the best card after the card is over. It's going to be fantastic. It's going to be highly, highly entertaining. A fight card in which I cannot wait to see what takes place. Not only is this fight card feature fights that I want to see from top to bottom, but it's also the return of the man that I have waited 4 years to see step back inside the cage once again, and that is Georges St-Pierre. But a fight that obviously I have high expectations for is the co-main event featuring Cody Garbrandt, the UFC men's bantamweight champion, and TJ Dillashaw, the UFC former UFC men's bantamweight champion. And Cody Garbrandt is coming off this destructive title-winning performance that I said was the best challenger versus champion for performance pound for pound that I have ever seen, in which Cody Garbrandt just demolished, embarrassed, and destroyed and dominated the Dominator, Dominic Cruz, all in just 25 minutes of just the purest form of combat that I've ever seen, where Cody Garbrandt really did a little bit of everything. It was a complete performance. So that was back in July of 2016, and here we are. It's November of 2017, or actually July of 2016, I believe. Was it? I can't remember. It was a while ago. And TJ Dillashaw was slated to fight Cody Garbrandt this past July. Maybe that's what I'm getting. I thought it was over a year ago. And here we are. in November. Cody Garbrandt suffered multiple back injuries. TJ Dillashaw, waited it out, tried to get a fight with Demetrius Johnson. That didn't end up happening. But here we are, Garbrandt, Dillashaw, the rivalry. Cody Garbrandt and TJ Dillashaw have one thing in common. That one common denominator is the fact that Garbrandt and Dillashaw trained together at Team Alpha Male. For those that don't know the story, Team Alpha Male is a bantamweight, featherweight, lightweight, strawweight, flyweight gym, which some of the smallest, best fighters in the world train every day, Monday to Monday, or Sunday to Sunday, 7 days a week. It is led by former WC champion, all-time great, and UFC Hall of Famer, MMA legend Uriah Faber. This is now Uriah Faber's Ultimate Fitness, where Team Alpha Male trains inside of Sacramento, California. The California Kid is what they used to call Uriah Faber. So, what they still call him, I still call him that. He'll always be the California Kid to me. So, Uriah Faber was trying to get the title. He was working his way up. He'd get there, then he'd lose. He'd get there. Just never seemed to win a title shot. And he received many inside the UFC. Meanwhile, Faber, knows he's building the team up, knows that he's creating something special, and he brings in Dwayne Ludwig to be the head coach of Team Alpha Male. And Ludwig builds a real rapport with TJ Dillashaw. So it became apparent that TJ Dillashaw was reaching a rapport with Dwayne Ludwig, and it became apparent in the life of Dwayne Ludwig that he wanted to move to Colorado to be closer to his family and start his own gym. He starts his own gym, and TJ Dillashaw realizes that he's got a real rapport with this coach, so he is going to go to the Elevation Fight Team and train in Colorado. Not only would he train there, but he would get paid to train there, which is a big deal if you're an MMA fighter. These guys aren't exactly that rich. They don't make boxing money. They don't make NFL money. They don't make MLB money. They don't make much money at all, to be quite honest. The only real guys that get paid are the top draws, the Connors, the Brocks, the John Joneses, the GSPs, the Anderson Silvas. Those are really the only guys that get paid, the Ronda Rouseys. Those are really the only guys and girls that get paid. And TJ Dillashaw was not getting money from more than one hand. And he thought, why not take this opportunity? Uriah Faber considered that a bit of a slap in the face. All the while, Cody Garbrandt was training at Team Alpha Male with TJ Dillashaw as a sparring partner, working his way up the MMA ranks. TJ Dillashaw leaves. The fight of all fights was supposed to be Faber and Dillashaw, but it never ended up happening. Faber fights Cruz once more, works his way up, fights Cruz once more. That fight is a loss for Faber. And then, well, I kind of did skip a little bit. I'm sorry. TJ Dillashaw wins the belt versus Renan Barão, a guy that Uriah Faber couldn't touch, a man that TJ Dillashaw dispatched not once, but then once again. Dominic Cruz comes back from retirement and gets the fight with Dillashaw. Faber did not want to fight his former protege. So Dillashaw, now only working with Dwayne Ludwig, fights Dominic Cruz and loses. Then Dominic Cruz fights Faber, wins. Faber is virtually out of commission at that point, decides to retire. And the next man up that Faber once again gets a title shot from his own team, once doing it for Dillashaw versus Barão. After Faber lost to Barão, he said that he would want Dillashaw to fight Barão, and then Dillashaw beats Barão. That's how TJ Dillashaw got the title shot and the belt from Uriah Faber. So Uriah is up in the octagon and he says, well, I got a tough guy named Cody Garbrandt. I think Garbrandt would give you some trouble. Cody Garbrandt's this slick-haired, tattooed, head to toe, just physical specimen that's knocking guys out left and right. Dominic Cruz doesn't like this new kid on the block image that this guy portrays, calls him out, fights him, and Cody Garbrandt puts on one of the best performances that you would ever see from a challenger versus a champion in MMA history, one-upping TJ Dillashaw versus Renan Barão. Actually, 10-upping TJ Dillashaw versus Renan Barão. And ultimately, I don't think it will matter. I do see Garbrandt winning via third-round TKO, But nonetheless, it'll be entertaining. And it'll be a fight that will definitely happen again. I think both of these guys will cross the hand that fed him. Was it wrong? I mean, I really don't know. You could say it was. You could say it wasn't. I think TJ just wanted to broaden his horizons a little bit. And you can't really blame a fighter for that. For wanting to expand his mind and his MMA repertoire. Each other at a Denny's or a Wendy's or a IHOP. They would probably fight in the restaurant. Not in the parking lot, in the restaurant. So, my take on the rivalry, this is one of the best rivalries ever. Between GSP and Koscheck, between GSP and Penn, John Jones and Rashad, Anderson Silva and Chael Sonnen, Tito and Chuck. I mean, this is one of those type of rivalries where these guys will definitely cross paths again. And I can't wait for them to cross paths on November 4th, live at UFC 217.